Hello, everyone. Nucleus here. Happy New Year. The Consumer Electronics Show 2025 was in Las Vegas last week. Here is a roundup of what you missed at CES 2025. After months of speculation after the launch of the 9000 series, AMD kicked off CES with announcing the 9900 X3D and the 9950 X3D CPUs. These are the X3D variants of the 9000 series flagship CPUs, the 9900 and 9900X and the 9950X. These have AMD's patented 3D V cache. The 9900 X3D has 12 cores and 24 threads with a base clock of 4.4 gigahertz and a boost clock of 5.5 gigahertz. It has a TDP of 120 watts and a total cache of 140 megabytes. The 9950 X3D has 16 cores and 32 threads, a base clock of 4.3 gigahertz and a boost clock of 5.7 gigahertz. It has a TDP of 170 watts and a total cache of 144 megabytes. The 9900 X3D and the 9950 X3D are expected to be on shelves Q1 of this year. Uh, the panel for was this, or to say this keynote that announced the 9900 and 9950 X3D CPUs was headed up by Senior Vice President Jack Hune, and he also talked about the Ryzen Z2 series of CPUs for handheld gaming devices. In the Z2 line, there is the Z2 Extreme, the Z2, and the Z2 Go. The Z2 Extreme will have 8 cores, 16 threads, a base clock of 2 gigahertz, and a boost clock of 5 gigahertz, and a total cache of 24 megabytes. We'll have 16 graphics cores and a TDP of about 15 to 35 watts. The Z2 will have 8 cores and 16 threads, a base clock of 3.3 gigahertz, and a boost clock of 5.1 gigahertz. It will have a total cache of 24 megabytes, 12 graphics cores, and a TDP of 15 to 30 watts. And the Z2 Go will have 4 cores and 8 threads, and a base clock of 3 gigahertz and a boost clock of 4.3 gigahertz, and a total cache of 10 megabytes. It will have 12 graphics cores and a TDP of 15 to 30 watts. AMD also announced their series of CPUs for mobile. They will be bringing their 3D Vcache technology to laptops with the Ryzen 9 9950X8 HX 3D. Will have 16 cores, 32 threads, a base clock of 2.5 gigahertz, a boost of 5.4 gigahertz, 144 megabytes total cache, and have a TDP of about 55 to 75 watts. The 9950HX will have 16 cores and 32 threads, a base clock of 2.5 gigahertz, and a boost clock of 5.4 gigahertz, TDP of 55 to 75 watts, and a total cache will be 80 megabytes. The 9950HX is a 12 core, 24 thread CPU with a base clock of 3 gigahertz and a boost clock of 5.2 gigahertz, and a total cache of 76 megabytes and a TDP of 45 to 75 watts. All three of these CPUs will have the 610M integrated graphics. At Nvidia's keynote discussion, much of the discussion focused around Nvidia's AI and automation pursuits, but co-founder and CEO Jensen Huang started the panel by revealing the long-awaited 50 series of GPUs based on their Blackwell architecture. The RTX 9050, 5080, 5070 Ti, and 5070. The 5090 is purported to be twice as fast as the RTX 4090 with 32 gigabytes of the new GDDR7 memory. It will have 1,796 gigabytes per second memory bandwidth. It also has 21,670 CUDA cores, 680 fifth generation Tensor cores, and 170 fourth generation ray tracing cores, a 512-bit memory bus, and will have a TGP, total graphics power, of 575 watts. So you might want to look at upgrading your power supply if you're looking at the 5090. The 5080 will have a base clock of 3.2 gigahertz and a boost clock of 2.62 gigahertz, 16 gigabytes of GDDR7, 10,752 CUDA cores, a 256 memory bus, and a TGP of 360 watts. The specs for the 5070 are that it will have a base clock of 2.16 gigahertz with a boost clock of 2.51 gigahertz. It will have 12 gigabytes of GDDR7, 6,144 CUDA cores, a 192-bit memory bus, and a TGP of 250 watts. And the RTX 5070 Ti will have a base clock of 2.3 gigahertz with a boost clock of 2.45 gigahertz, 8,960 CUDA cores. It will also have 16 gigabytes of GDDR7 with a 256-bit memory bus and a TGP of 300 watts. So expect to see the Founders Edition and third-party board partner RTX 5080 and 5090 cards on store shelves by the end of this month, and the RTX 5070 and 5070 Ti will be on store shelves in February. The MSRP for the 5090 will be $1,999, while the 5080 will be $999, a grand. But expect prices to be higher for the third-party cards. The RTX 5070 will launch with an MSRP of $579, while the 5070 Ti will have an MSRP of $749. Laptops with the 50 series GPUs will be launching sometime this March. And with the release of the 50 series cards also comes DLSS 4, the fourth generation of Nvidia's deep learning super sampling technology. Now, with DLSS 4, Nvidia has included multi-frame generation, which boosts frames by generating 3 additional frames for each traditionally rendered frame. So, despite Nvidia's claims, make sure to look to independent reviewers for real-world performance and gaming benchmarks. And a side note, during the Nvidia panel, pre-alpha footage for Virtua Fighter 6 featuring Akira Yuki was shown. Virtua Fighter 6 was announced December 12th during the Game Awards. The original teaser trailer showed Virtua Fighter alumni Sarah Bryant facing off against an unnamed fighter. Virtua Fighter 6 is being co-developed by SEGA's legendary AM2 division and Yakuza developer Studio Ryuga Gotoku. While there are no details available on this new entry into the Virtua Fighter franchise, Ryuga Gotoku's involvement probably means that the studio's proprietary Dragon engine or a highly modified version will be used. Razer is releasing the newest edition of their Razer Blade 16 gaming laptop. The Razer Blade 16 will come with AMD's Ryzen 9 AI HX370 mobile CPU and Nvidia's 50 series GPUs. Razer claims that the 2025 version of the Razer Blade 16 is their thinnest laptop yet at 14.9 millimeters, or about 0.6, about half an inch thick. 0.59 inches thick. So yeah, about a half inch thick. Razer is also continuing their collaboration with Sanrio with Kuromi themed products like the Kraken Kitty V2 Bluetooth headset, the Ornata V3 10 keyless RGB keyboard, the Leviathan V2 gaming soundbar, the Enki X gaming chair, and the Death Adder Essential and Goliathus mouse and mousepad bundle. Razer also announced Project Ava, which is being hailed as a AI co-pilot for gamers, and also as a real-time esports coach for certain games. Thermaltake has entered the racing sim market with their GR500 racing simulator cockpit. It will be available in black and snow. They are also introducing the GM5 300F motion system. Their motion system is compatible with the GR500. Thermaltake has also introduced a new entry into their tower series with the Tower 250. The Tower 250 supports many ITX motherboards and ATX and SFX power supplies. Both graphics cards and AIO coolers are it supports graphics cards and AIO coolers up to 360 millimeters in length. And continuing to diversify their color palette, the Tower 250 will come in colors mint strawberry, butter caramel, and blue hydrangea, along with the white and, or excuse me, snow and black. The TR100 mini chassis is a small form factor that supports graphics cards up to 360 millimeters in length and AIO coolers up to 280 millimeters in length. The TR100 mini will come in black, snow, pink, mint strawberry, matcha green, and hydrangea blue. Also from Thermaltake is the MagFlow 360 Ultra AIO. The MagFlow 360 Ultra is a 360 millimeter AIO with a square 3.9 centimeter screen. Or excuse me, I believe, sorry, inches, 3.95-inch screen. It will support motherboard sync, Thermaltake's TG RGB Plus 3.0 software, or the PlayLink app. The screen will be secured with Thermaltake's MagForce 2.0. Alphacool showed off their water blocks for Nvidia's RTX 5090 and 5080's Founders Edition cards. They also introduced monoblocks that cover the CPU and VRM solutions for motherboards. Alphacool introduced two new distro plates, one for Be Quiet's Dark Base 901 and the other for Fractal Design's North XL. The 2023 Alphacool released their 120 millimeters Apex Stealth metal fans and surprised many a reviewer with their performance. Now Alphacool has their Core Stealth Aurora fans. These fans have a metal frame like the Apex Stealth, but now include ARGB. And this can be seen at Alphacool's Instagram page regarding these products as well as others. From ASUS, laptops, lots of laptops. So we'll start with the consumer and professional grade laptops. ASUS has announced refreshes and new releases for their line of laptops. The first is the ZenBook A14. ASUS is calling the ZenBook A14 their lightest Copilot Plus PC in the world, coming in Ceraluminum, I think I got that right, and in colors of Zabriskie beige and Iceland gray. The Ceraluminum shell is supposed to contribute to durability against scratches, smudges, and increase wear resistance. The ZenBook 14 will use Qualcomm's Snapdragon X series of processors and will have 45 TOPS of NPU power. The ZenBook A14 will have a TDP of up to 45 watts and a battery life of up to 32 hours. The 2025 version of the ZenBook S16 is also encased in Ceraluminum chassis. It has ASUS's 16-inch Lumina OLED display, available in both touch and non-touch variants. Has a 3K resolution with a 100% DCI P3 color gamut with HDR support and 120 Hz refresh rate. It features the AMD Ryzen AI 7 350 processor with 50 tops of NPU power and integrated Radeon graphics. It also comes with up to 24 gigabytes of RAM and weighs just 1.5 kilograms or 3 pounds, and with a 1.1 centimeter or 0.43 inch profile. The Asus ZenBook Duo has been refreshed for 2025. It includes a dual screen setup with multiple usage modes possible from dual screen, desktop, sharing, and laptops modes, and is paired with Screen Expert and gesture control. The displays are two 14-inch ASUS Lumina OLED displays with up to 3K resolution and 120 Hz refresh rate. The CPU is an Intel Core Ultra 9 Series 2 with Intel Arc graphics and features up to 32 gigabytes of RAM and up to 2 terabyte SSD. The new generation of processors are supposed to have a new and improved NPU for even better AI processes, and it features AI enhanced functionality. The chassis is supposed to feature military grade durability with an eco friendly design and is made from recycled materials. And the ZenBook Duo will include a 75 watt hour battery. The refreshed Asus Zen 14 Asus is going to have the Asus Lumina OLED display for both touch and non-touch variants. It will have a 14-inch 3K display with 120 hertz. Excuse me, 120 20 hertz OLED panels. The ZenBook 14 comes in two flavors: the Intel Core Ultra 9 processor, Series 2, or the AMD Ryzen AI 7 350 processor. Both models will include a dedicated Copilot key on the keyboard on their ErgoSense keyboards. It is an ultra portable with a weight of 1.2 kilograms or 2.6 pounds and 149 centimeter or 0.58 inch profile. New features for the ZenBook 14 refresh will include optional smart gestures that allow you to adjust brightness, volume, and video playback on the touchpad. The VivoBook 14 and 16 are Copilot Plus laptops. They come with the Snapdragon X processor with up to 16 gigabytes of 8,448 megahertz RAM and up to a 1 terabyte SSD storage. Both will feature a Copilot key, which allows users to access the Microsoft AI Assistant via a dedicated button on the keyboard. The Vivo 14 and 16 also have ASUS's Story Cube, which is ASUS's AI-powered media management tool. The laptops are 1.79 centimeters or zero point 0.7 inches in profile. The 14 weighs 1.49 kilograms or 3.2 pounds, and the 16 weighs 1.88 kilograms or just over 4 pounds. These laptops will include a battery that offers up to 17 hours of battery life. The Vivo 14 has a 14-inch VIPS display, and the 16 has a PHD IPS display with a 16 by 10 aspect ratio. Both will have a 60 hertz refresh rate. The VivoBook S16 has a 16-inch 3.2K OLED Nano Edge display with a 16 by 10 aspect ratio and 100% DCI P3 color gamut. The CPU is an AMD Ryzen AI 7 350 CPU with an integrated Radeon 860M graphics. The laptop is slim, measuring 1.39 centimeters or 0.55 inches. It weighs 1.5 kilograms or about 3 pounds. It has a 75 watt hour battery for up to 14 hours of operation with fast charging technology. It also has a large touchpad and customizable RGB ErgoSense keyboard. Connectivity options include USB Type C, USB Type A, and HDMI ports. The VivoBook S16 has a variety of AI features from Microsoft's Copilot to ASUS's own AI-powered technologies, such as their AI noise canceling technology and their built-in AI camera. VivoBook Pro 15 is aimed at the creator market, and its 15-inch 3K OLED display has a 120 Hz refresh rate with a 100% DCI P3 color gamut. The ASUS dial pad is a rotary input device and is built into the touchpad. It's meant to offer creators control over creative tools meant to streamline workflows in popular creative apps. The Intel Core Ultra 9 processor, Series 2, and Nvidia GeForce RTX 4050 graphics are included. Additionally, it has a robust NPU to support AI features, and connectivity includes the Thunderbolt 4 and Wi-Fi 6E. Moving on to the Republic of Gamers side of the house, for the ROG Strix line, the ROG Strix Scar 16 and 18 come with up to the Intel Core Ultra 9 275HX CPU and up to the RTX 5090. The 16 or 18 inch. Excuse me. It comes with either the 16 or 18 inch ROG Nebula HDR displays, respectively. Both displays are G-Sync panels with a resolution of 2.5K, an aspect ratio of 16 by 10, and a refresh rate of 240 Hz, and a 3 millisecond response time. Both can include RAM up to 64 gigabytes of DDR5 5600 and an SSD of up to 4 terabytes. Both can be upgraded due to the toolless design of the laptops. The ROG Strix G16 comes in AMD and Intel flavors. For AMD, you can get a CPU up to the Ryzen 9 9955 HX3D and paired with a RTX 5070 Ti. Or for the Intel side, you can get a Core Ultra 9 275HX and an RTX 5080. The ROG Strix G18 for AMD, you can also get CPUs up to Ryzen 9. Oh, sorry, I misread that. The ROG Strix G18, you can get CPUs up to the Ryzen 9 9950 HX3D and paired with an RTX 5070. For Intel, you can get a Core Ultra 9 275HX and up to a RTX 5080. The Strix G16 and 18 come with either the 16 or 18 inch 2.5K ROG Nebula display, respectively, with a 16 by 10 aspect ratio, G-Sync, and a 240 Hz refresh rate with a 3 millisecond response time. Then for the high end, you have the high end of the game, ASUS gaming laptops. You have the ROG Zephyrus G14 and G16. The Zephyrus 14 G14 has a 14-inch. Excuse me. Comes with a CPU up to the Ryzen AI 9 HX370. Is equipped with and it also comes with a RTX or up to an RTX 5080. The display is a 14-inch ROG Nebula 3K OLED display with G-Sync. Has 120 Hz refresh rate and 0.2 millisecond response time. The Zephyrus G16 comes with either Intel or AMD CPUs up to the Ryzen AI 9 HX370 or Core Ultra 9 285H. However, the AMD version only comes with a GPU up to the RTX 5070, while the Intel version can go up to the RTX 5090. Both come with 16-inch ROG Nebula OLED displays with a 2.5K resolution, G-Sync, 240 Hz refresh rate, and a 0.2 millisecond response time. And for their pre-built desktops, You have the ROG G700. You can choose from either AMD or Intel CPUs. For AMD, you can choose up to the Ryzen 7 9800 X3D, and for Intel, you can go up to the Core Ultra 9 285K. As for GPUs, you can go up to the RTX 5090 for either, but both can be configured for a max of 64 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM at 6,000 megahertz and a PCIe Gen 4 SSD of up to 2 terabytes. MSI has a lot of gaming laptops, but I'm only going to go over a few of them. So the MSI flagship gaming laptop, the Titan 18 HX Dragon Edition Norse Myth, comes in two SKUs. One will come with the RTX 5090 and the other with the 5080. Both will come with the Core Ultra 9 275HX, an 18-inch mini LED 4K display panel with a 16 by 10 aspect ratio, 120 hertz refresh rate. The Dragon Edition will have a hand-drawn dragon design on the chassis as well as Nordic runes. The Raider 18HX will come in four SKUs, two for the Core Ultra 9 275HX, and your choice between the RTX 5080 or the 5090. The other two SKUs are for the Ryzen 9950 HX3D, with your choice between a 5080 or a 5090. All four come with a 18-inch mini LED 4K display with a 16 by 10 aspect ratio and 120 hertz refresh rate. The Vector A18HX comes in two SKUs, both with the Ryzen 9 9955 HX CPU. You can choose either an RTX 5080 or a 5070 Ti. Both come with an 18-inch QHD display with a 16 by 10 aspect ratio and 240 hertz refresh rate. The Stealth 18HX AI has a excuse me has three SKUs. All three will get the Core Ultra 9 275HX. The GPUs that you can choose from are the RTX 5090, 5080, and 5070 Ti. The 5080 and 5090 variants will get 18-inch mini LED displays with 16 by 10 aspect ratio and a 120 hertz refresh rate, while the 5070 Ti version will get an 18-inch QHD display with a 16 by 10 aspect ratio and 240 hertz refresh the refresh rate. Excuse me. The Stealth 18 AI Plus will have three SKUs, with all three getting the Ryzen AI 9 HX 370. Like the Stealth AI, you can choose from the RTX 5090, 5080, and 5070 Ti variants. The 5090 and 50 variants also get the 18-inch mini LED display with 16 by 10 aspect ratio and 120 hertz refresh rate, while the 5070 Ti version gets an 18-inch QHD display with the 16 by 10 aspect ratio and 240 hertz refresh rate. All of MSI's gaming laptops can support up to 96 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM, in case you're looking to upgrade. MSI also announced the newest versions of their Claw handheld device, the MSI Claw 8 AI Plus and 7 AI Plus. On the pre-built desktop side, they have the MSI MEG AI Vision X AI. The front panel of this desktop is actually a 13-inch HMI touchscreen. The PC supports voice interaction through built-in microphone and speakers, and that front display, that front panel touchscreen gives users real-time monitoring of your PC, whether you're gaming or doing production tasks. MSI also debuted their monitor, the MPG 272 URX OD OLED gaming monitor. Um, it's a 27-inch 4K OLED monitor with a 240 hertz refresh rate and features full bandwidth display 2.1A connectivity. It has comes equipped with G-Sync, so expect this monitor to be pricey. MSI is also debuting what is being called their first monitor with a 500 hertz refresh rate. This is the MSI 272QR OD OLED X50 gaming monitor. It too features DisplayPort 2.1A connectivity and G-Sync. Uh, it's a QLED display, which is being called 2.5K resolution. I should have mentioned that in some of the earlier mentions of 2.0 OLED QHDR 2.5K resolution. MSI revealed their Meg X870E Godlike, which is their flagship motherboard for AMD 9000 series CPUs. Um, they also announced their mid-range and entry-level AM5 motherboards, the B60 Mortar, the B60 and B50 Tomahawk, and the B50 Edge Ti Wi-Fi. And if you didn't think they could add AI to even more things, AI has announced their Meg AI 1600T, PCIe 5, and MPG 1250 GS PCIe 5 power supplies. They're marketing these power supplies for high-end GPUs or in rigs with high-end GPUs for AI computing and AI PCs. So look for more of that on these in the future. Gigabyte has announced the release of their new motherboards utilizing the AMD's B860 chipset for uh, mid-range and entry-level motherboards. The excuse me, B860, B850, and B840 chipsets. Excuse me. These chipsets are going to be for the Ryzen 9000 series of CPUs, utilizing the AM5 socket. These new motherboards are meant to serve the mid-range and entry-level PCs. For the entry level, there's the B850 AI Top, the B850i Aorus Pro, the Aorus Elite Wi-Fi 7, and the Elite Wi-Fi 7 Ice, the B850M Aorus Elite Wi-Fi 6 Ice, and the B480 Elite Wi-Fi 6E. For the mid-range, there's the B60M Aorus Pro Wi-Fi 7, B860 Aorus Elite Wi-Fi 7 Ice, B860i Aorus Pro Ice, B860M Aorus Elite Wi-Fi 6E, and the Elite Wi-Fi 6E Ice. For mobile gaming, Gigabyte has four new gaming laptops: the Aorus Master 18, the Aorus Master 16, and the Gigabyte Aorus 8 X16. Or excuse me, the Gigabyte Aero X16 and the Gaming A16. All four will come equipped with the mobile versions of Nvidia's upcoming 50 series GPUs. The Aero and Gaming will have 16-inch IPS displays with a 165 Hz refresh rate. However, the Aero will have AMD Ryzen 9 AI HX370 or the Ryzen 7 AI HX350 CPUs. No word on what CPU the Gaming A16 will use, but the Aorus Master 16 and 18 will be utilizing Intel's Core Ultra 9 HX275 CPU. The Master 18 will utilize an 18-inch mini LED display with 240 Hz refresh rate, while the Master 16 uses a 16-inch OLED display with 240 Hz refresh rate. And finally, to top off Gigabyte's offerings, they have two new monitors coming to market: the Aorus FO27Q5P, the first QHD OLED monitor with a 500 Hz refresh rate. Remember what MSI said. And the MO27U2, a 27-inch 4K OLED display with a 240 Hz refresh rate. Regarding Intel, after a successful launch of the B580 and B570 Battlemage GPUs, I'm sure there were those who were hoping to see a successor to the Alchemist flagship GPU, the Arc A770. The Intel panel, Robert Halleck, from the vice president of client computing group, ran the panel, which was a deep dive into their 200H and 200HX Arrow Lake processors for laptops with gaming and performance benchmarks. I'm going to leave a link to the discussion in the description if you want to hear about the gaming and productivity benchmarks for these mobile CPUs. So I've already talked about the specs of the numerous gaming laptops that will include the 200H and XX mobile CPUs, but they've also announced 9K SKUs for their Arrow Lake desktop CPUs. But the non-K desktop CPUs that Hawk focused on are the Core Ultra 9 285, Core Ultra 7 265, and Core Ultra 5 245, with more to be released. In fact, Halleck stated that there will be a total of 17 Arrow Lake S CPUs that will be coming to market. He also mentioned that the non-K CPUs launched during CPS, but they will be making their way to retailers by the end of the first quarter. So be on the lookout for those. Along with the new CPUs, the new chipsets were announced: the B860 for the mid-range and the H810 for entry-level motherboards. So be on the lookout for the budget offerings from board partners. Dell's gaming division, Alienware, is reviving their Area 51 brand with two new laptops and a desktop. In a discussion with Alienware product marketing manager Eddie Goyanes, he spoke about the Area 51 16-inch and 18-inch gaming laptops and desktop. Um, with the Area 51 16 on hand, he gave a rundown of the included features. The laptop will come with a PCIe Gen 5 SSD. They will be utilizing Intel's Arrow Lake Core Ultra HX CPUs and Nvidia's 50 series GPUs for mobile. And there will be then they will go up all the way up to the 15 RTX 5090. The monitor on the 16 is an QHD LCD display with a 240 hertz refresh rate and 3 millisecond response time. Also included is the new USB Thunderbolt 5 on all laptops in the line. Will have a 96 watt hour battery. On the Alienware YouTube channel, there is a video about the Area 51 desktop. The desktop is what appears to be a mid-tower ATX case. The front panel is closed off with openings along the side and a heavily perforated rear panel. The motherboard is a standard ATX form factor. In the past, Dell has typically used a proprietary form factor for all their pre-built gaming CPUs, and they did this simply for the fact to allow for um, upgrading your hardware within the case. So, um, yeah, I'll leave a link in the description to uh, the Alienware's YouTube channel regarding that particular video. So that's it for all the announcements from CES 2025. There was a lot of information to include in one video, and I left out a lot of talk about AI from AMD, Nvidia, and Intel. I'm sure there's a lot that I missed out on, but I wasn't able to attend the show in person, and I kind of only focused on the things that I was particularly interested in, as well as more of the general hardware like gaming laptops, video cards, that and CPUs that everyone generally kind of pays attention to with regards to PC building. But I did leave links to all the videos and manufacturer announcements. Um, Check out the AMD and Nvidia keynotes if you're definitely interested in those Intel benchmarks. I do have the video for the Intel panel also in the description. Um, so there were also a lot of things that that are meant for the commercial market that I left out on. So in case I missed anything, definitely check out the links in the description. So thank you for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.